evening. It's 6 o'clock on Tuesday, the 8th of August 2017. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News, bringing you the day's national top stories translated into English 6 days a week. The Civil Emergency Service has reported 14 new fires in the past 24 hours. Affected areas include Dibur, Tirana, Berat, Lej, Elbasan, Fir, Durrës and Korç. 98 firefighting teams assisted by 13 firefighting vehicles, 140 military forces and some helicopters have all been battling the blazes. Fires have burned dozens of hectares of bushes and trees and have put many houses at risk. The operation to extinguish the flames in the Dibur area continues, with about 70 hectares of pine trees already destroyed. In Tirana, the operation to extinguish the flames near the Kraba tunnel continues. Firefighting services and military forces have also asked for the help from the Viva company. The operation to extinguish the flames near the Şencerj village also continues. Firefighters and a helicopter are battling the blazes, but isolating the flames has been difficult due to the rugged terrain. The fire in Şencerj is burning bushes and pines. In Berat, flames are still active in Bogosa Park. A helicopter will be sent to extinguish the fire there. According to the Civil Emergency Service, a considerably large area of bushes and pines has been burned in Lej. 200 olive trees and 16 hectares of bushes have been destroyed in Fir. In Tepelen, 200 olive trees and 300 fruit trees have been destroyed, and the fire there is also risking some houses. The damage caused by fires in Durrës and Korç is considerable. The hot weather, drought and strong winds have favoured the spread of fires across the country. The persisting hot weather ensures the danger of fire remains, and as such, the civil emergency specialists are keeping the situation under constant monitoring across the country. Should you notice any signs of fire, do ensure you contact emergency phone numbers as per the request of the Civil Emergency Service. You might not be surprised to hear that the extremely high temperatures will continue this week, the entire country to be swept with hot weather. The situation is not only affecting Albania, but the entire Balkan region. The Institute of Geosciences informs that temperatures will exceed 40 degrees Celsius this week, though a slight decrease in temperatures is expected by the end of the week. Commenting on the likelihood of fires, the experts from the Institute of Geosciences say that the central and southern parts of the country, mainly Tirana, Elbasan, Fir, Berat, Vlora and Gjirokastër, will be faced with a problematic situation. According to the experts, the risk from fires will increase until at least Friday, and the risk for the spread of flames is expected to be particularly high in Shkodër. Regarding the water situation, no rainfalls are expected, with the exception of some isolated showers in mountainous areas. Water resources are at their crucial levels due to the drought, and the country is faced with restrictions on drinking water. The need for a strong and qualitative opposition has made the Democratic Party chairman, Lulzim Basha, ask for some experienced German assistance. Sources told Aura News that the DP chairman has asked the German foundation Konrad Adenauer to organise a meeting with some new Democrat MPs who will sit for the first time in Albanian Parliament and a group of German MPs from the CDU. The same sources said that the meeting will be held in the city of Como, while the discussion will be mainly focused on parliamentary discussions and exchanging experience. The meeting will also focus on the process of making laws and the process of discussion in parliamentary commissions. The reforms that will be undertaken during the new parliamentary sessions, especially the constitutional and electoral reforms, are likely to be discussed. The German foundation, Konrad Adenauer, has continuously supported the efforts of the Democratic Party. The foundation has exchanged its experience with Democrat MPs, directors of departments and directors of structures on many occasions over the past 4 years. Also, the German foundation played an important role in drafting the program which the Democratic Party presented during their electoral campaign. The US State Department has publicised its report on terrorism in 2016, noting that Iranian terrorism has arrived in Albania. The report mentions Albania not as a supportive country, but as a target of terrorism. According to this report, our country is threatened by Iranian terrorism, which sees Albania as a foothold to the European continent. The report states that Iran has made attempts to infiltrate the country through cultural and charitable organisations. The report estimates that the entire international community must be vigilant towards this threat. As in Bosnia, Iran has been trying to infiltrate Albania through the creation of charitable and cultural organisations that secretly serve the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and the Ministry of Intelligence. The report emphasises that Iran has continued its terrorist activity, increasing support for Hezbollah, Palestinian terrorist groups in Gaza, and various clusters in Syria, Iraq, and the Middle East. Regarding its presence in Europe, the US State Department estimates that many activities remain undiscovered. Despite the efforts, terrorism is certainly not getting support from the overall population of our country. The Albanian government and the parliament reached a unanimous agreement to allow a large number of members of the Iranian opposition party, the Democratic Opposition Group, to settle in our country last year. However, the international community needs to be vigilant and join US sanctions against the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps so as not to allow for their further empowerment. The State Supreme Audit Commission has filed a lawsuit against 2 former directors and 2 former specialists from the local commission for the verification of property titles in Liège. According to the report drafted by the State Supreme Audit, the former directors and specialists have caused damage of 11 million lek to the state budget. During the audit, the SSA found violations and irregularities relating to legal provisions on the treatment of property titles for agricultural lands. The officials have distributed more agricultural land than deserved in 49 cases, and they have also not registered properties into state ownership for cases concerning land being used illegally. The officials have also made some decisions both unfounded in law and that exceed their jurisdiction. Based on these and other violations, the SSA has filed a lawsuit with the prosecution of Liège against the 2 former directors and 2 former specialists of the local commission. The City Hall continues with its investments in Tirana's schools. The Hoxha Tahsin School will be ready by September to welcome 1,000 students from the capital. Also, 3 other schools are being reconstructed in order to be completed by September. The reconstructed schools were part of the City Hall's program to rebuild the most problematic schools, aiming to improve conditions and avoid an education system revolving around 2 separate teaching shifts. Tirana's mayor inspected the work at the Hoxha Tahsin School and promised that it will offer more contemporary conditions for students. The construction of the school started less than a year ago. We are finishing it in record time. We will have it completed within 3 weeks, and it will be the first to open of 20 new schools that the City Hall is constructing in Tirana, declared the mayor. Mr. Viliaj went on to give his assurance that all 20 schools will be constructed prior to the end of his mandate. I believe that this is the only way Tirana can progress. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither can Tirana be built in a day. Our motto is a concrete achievement every day. As long as we continue with this pace, we will have the 20 schools finished by the end of my mandate, and for the first time, we will end teaching in 2 shifts, added the mayor. The mayor called on parents to register their children in the newly constructed schools, and Tirana City Hall is trying to attract as many students as possible into the newly constructed schools. Recruitment has seen the City Hall employing the best teachers as further encouragement to parents to provoke registration. That's all for our English edition this evening. My name is Alexandra. Please join me again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. On behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.